Today, we're going to dive into the Islamic concept of purity, or Taharah. And let me tell you, it goes way beyond just simple hygiene. It's actually a complete logical system, a kind of spiritual prerequisite that unlocks the very act of worship. So how does this amazing system work? Let's get into it. So, what does it truly mean to be pure for prayer? It's not just about being physically clean. In Islam, it's about entering a very specific state of ritual purity. And this state is defined by a remarkably detailed and logical framework. It's a system designed to prepare you, both body and soul, for that conversation with the divine. All right, here's our game plan for unpacking this. First, we're going to tackle the why. Why purity is the absolute key to prayer. Then we'll dig into the what, exploring the two different types of impurity and the ultimate purifier, water. After that, we'll look at the how, the specific rituals, and even cover what you do when water isn't around. And finally, we'll bring it all home and see how this is really a system of mindfulness. So, why kick things off here? Well, because in the classic big books of Islamic law, Taharah is almost always chapter 1. It's seen as the non-negotiable first step for prayer, which is, of course, a pillar of the faith. There's a famous saying from the Prophet Muhammad, the key to prayer is purification. You can't enter the house without the key, right? Now, this word, taharah, it has a couple of layers to it. In just plain language, it means cleanliness in a really broad sense. Everything from physical dirt to, moral flaws. But in Islamic law, its technical meaning is super precise. It's about removing two very specific things, a state called hadath and a substance called khabath. Getting a handle on these two ideas is absolutely essential to understanding the whole system. Okay, so to really get what purity is, we first have to talk about, well, impurity. The system breaks it down into two totally distinct categories. One is an abstract state of being, and the other is a concrete physical thing. And here it is, the core distinction. On one side, you've got hidath, or ritual impurity. Think of this as an abstract state. You haven't touched anything dirty, but certain things, like sleeping or using the restroom, put you in a state that acts as a barrier to prayer. You remove it with a specific ritual. On the other side is khabath. That's the easy one. It's actual physical impurity, a tangible substance like urine on your clothes. And that, you just wash it off. And, of course, this system gets even more detailed. That ritual impurity, hadath, comes in minor and major forms. A minor state is cleared by a ritual washing called wudu. A major state, that requires a full bath, or ghusl. And even the physical stuff, khabath, gets categorized by degrees, light, medium, and heavy, which just changes the specifics of how you clean it. So, we've identified the impurities. Now for the solution. How do we get rid of them? The system gives us a primary tool, an ultimate purifier, and that is water. It's the default, the absolute MVP for achieving taharah. And according to the classical texts, there's a specific number to remember here, 7. There are 7 primary natural sources of water that are considered pure by their very nature and totally okay to use for these rituals. And here they are: rain, sea, river, well, spring, snow, and hail. The logic here is pretty straightforward. Water from any of these natural sources is considered absolute water. It's pure in its default state, and because of that, it has the power to purify. But wait, it gets a little more nuanced. It's not just about where the water comes from, it's about its current state. This chart breaks down the 4 classifications. First, you've got pure and purifying. That's our absolute water. Simple. Then there's water that's still pure and purifying, but its use is disliked, like water that's been heated by the sun in certain metal pots. But here's the really crucial one. Category 3, pure but not purifying. This could be water you've already used for a ritual, or water that's been mixed with something else pure, like orange blossom water, that changes its essential nature. And finally, you just have plain impure water, which can't be used at all. Okay, so we've got the concept of ritual impurity, hadath, and we've got our main tool, purifying water. Now let's look at the actual things you do to remove that abstract state and get ready for worship. The most common ritual by far is wudu, or ablution. This is something observant Muslims perform multiple times, every single day, before they pray. It's the go-to method for wiping out that state of minor ritual impurity, and it becomes this constant, steady rhythm in daily life. And wudu isn't random. It has a very clear structure. These are the 6 must-do acts. It all starts with niyyah, which is the silent intention you make in your heart. Then comes washing the face, washing the arms up to the elbows, wiping the head, and washing the feet up to the ankles. And the final, critical piece is al-tartib. You have to do these steps in this exact order. Now, for that state of major ritual impurity, the corresponding ritual is ghusl. This is a full body bath. The key things here are, again, the intention, and then making sure water reaches every single part of your body. Once that's done, the purification is complete. So you might notice that everything we've talked about so far really hinges on one thing: water. Which leads to a pretty obvious question, right? What if you're in the middle of a desert? What if there's no water to be found? Does the whole system just break? I mean, really, what if water just isn't an option? Or maybe using it would actually be harmful, say if you're sick or injured. Well, the system has a very practical and I think compassionate answer for exactly this scenario. And that answer is tayammum, or dry ablution. It's a sanctioned alternative that lets a person use pure earth or dust to symbolically cleanse their face and hands. And this shows you that the ultimate goal isn't just the physical washing itself, but the act of preparing for worship, even when your main tool isn't available. It's incredibly practical. So when we put all these pieces together, the different kinds of impurity, the states of water, the specific rituals, even the alternatives, a much bigger picture starts to emerge. This isn't just about hygiene. It's a whole system designed to cultivate focus and mindfulness. You know, a really great way to visualize this whole system is to think about it like a building, one that's constructed with a very clear purpose and with all these logical parts. The very foundation of this entire structure, that's our purifying water. The main pillars holding everything up are the rituals of wudu and ghusl. Tayammum is like a practical side door for when the main entrance is blocked. And the whole point of the building, the entire reason it even exists, is to create this space of readiness, to prepare a person for worship. And that really gets to the heart of it all. This system of Taharah isn't just about washing away dirt. It's a structured, spiritual practice. Every single step, from that quiet intention in your heart to the sequence of washing, is designed to shift your focus away from the noise of the world and toward a state of spiritual awareness. It's a physical act that points to something much deeper. More than washing the body, it is about preparing the soul.